or if you want to be a certain way, if you want to, if you're part of, say, an Islamic tradition, and poetry is part of your Islamic story, then we can work on that and get poetry back in public spaces. So thank you, Aida. All right, our next special guest. Are we having a good time, everyone, so far? Yeah! We've got more to come. All right, so our next special guest is another wonderful sister, Tariro Mavondo, who's a founding member and workshop facilitator of the Centre for Poetics and Justice. And she's also the founding member and project manager of Stillwater's African Women's Storytelling Collective and a state finalist at the 2009 Australian Poetry Slam, and a runner-up at the 2010 Australian Poetry Slam. So please welcome Tariro Mavondo.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Good. So, because I don't like the microphone, I like to...
Yeah.
Free voice. Okay. So, do people know what poetry is?
Yes.
Do people know what spoken word poetry is?
No.
So, where you write your poetry, but then you perform it as well. So it becomes more than just you reading your poem. So, it becomes more about you embodying your poem. So it's like a whole performance. It's not just you reading. So you're performing it. So that's what I do. I perform my poetry. And that's what Eda does and Candace sometimes they do as well. So this piece is about coming to a new place and having people always ask, where do you come from? How long have you been here? So that's what it's about. And does everybody know what a vision is? A vision. A vision. So a vision is a goal that you want to aspire to something you want to be, and somewhere you want to get to. So if your vision is to become a doctor, let's say, that's a big vision. And if your vision is to become an actress, let's say, like me, that's my vision. If your vision is to change the world, so so we all have a vision, yeah?
Yes.
Right. So how strong is your vision? How strong is your vision? Do you fear? So are you scared sometimes? Yeah. I'm scared sometimes. Do you fear? Dare to take a risk? What is it to be free? Is it to walk in a crowd and have no first-class jackass? Where do you come from? How long have you been here? Assuming that I couldn't possibly be from here, be born here, in this Southern Cross Union Jack redneck land, land down under, backwards land, asking, do you understand English? And surprised that when I open my mouth, I have an Aussie accent. Well, you see, I've been schooled in the particulars of this dude, Will Shakespeare. Does everybody know who Will Shakespeare is?
Yeah.
Will Shakespeare. Dig what it do with verse, with prose, making nouns into verbs in a will, encapsulate some of the rhyming couplets to shake up this language, to pursue this language with my spear. The ink on the page drip drop onto the stage. I come from Frankston. But my ancestral roots are from the other side of the hemisphere, where people spoke the word to inspire, to set free creativity, to strengthen community, because they knew they shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't see themselves as a separate entity from the universality of this concept, unity. What is it to be free? Is it to be in no crowd, alone, but not lonely, taking time out in a space in your own mind until you sense that this idea of time has timed out? Or is it free to be part of a crowd that no longer eat the junk that the media feeds, feeding live feeds of lies of both people throwing their children overboard just so Howard could close the border in order to cause hysteria over the national security of Australia? I didn't go here. My ma flew 747 here. 24/7, there's terrorist attacks by rednecks of all colours. Cronulla's riots demonstrate that what is underneath the surface of this multicultural artifice is violence. Violence well hidden by the media, who favour to cover a story on how our nation's mother has crawled out of hiding and is now in her full force fighting for a white Australia that never existed. Because there's always been first, second, third generations of non-white ethnic Australians. And it bugs me that the media forget to mention the genocide of the first Australians. Does everybody know who the first Australians are? The Indigenous people of this land? The Aboriginals? And it bugs me to mention it bugs me that the media forget to mention the genocide of the first Australians. The richest, rarest cultures that ever existed were buried alive, skin deep under red soil ground, leaving only a small gene pool scattered around. And unless we acknowledge the full length extent of digging a Southern Cross flag on the top of Indigenous sacred land, then I'm sorry, Mr. Rudd, you're saying sorry is only half the story. And there'll always be some jack in some crowd ask where I come from and how long I've been here, assuming that I couldn't possibly be from here, be born here in this Southern Cross Union Jack redneck land down under, backwards land. But before I finish, I want to hold up a glass to every Jack, and I want to ask, what is it that you see? Because what I see is that we're all the same class. There is no one who's first or second or third class, that we're all on the same boat, trying to figure out what this life is all about. So I'll leave this question to you. What is it to you to be free?